All right, guys. Welcome everybody to Spill Your Sauce, episode 2. My name is Jay Longo. We're here with Zypitano. So today we have 1 hour where we'll get to know the guest. We'll get them to spill some sauce, talk a little bit, get to know Zippy a little bit more. We're going to open up some of the project files of their most successful work, go through it, see how he made it, see what's up, get some sauce from him. But yeah, so on this episode today, we have a 4-time platinum producer. He produced one of Broadway's top hits, Rag to Riches. He also did Petty 2 by Lil Durk and Future off his latest album, 7220. He's a young and upcoming producer signed to Hallwood Media alongside Murda Beatz, and he's here to tell us and show us what he's about and how he does a lot of his main projects. So without further ado, let's all of us 4 in this room give a little round of applause for Zippy here. Zippy, how are you, man?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Another day, man. Another day. You wanna tell some people a little introduction of yourself? Say hey.
Yeah, I'm Zypitano. That's quite a complex name, so you can call me Zippy if you want. I'm a 4-time platinum music producer, sample maker, and graphic designer. I've produced for the likes of Future, Lil Durk, Lil Baby, Rod Wave, Lil Uzi Vert, NLE Choppa, Lil Keed, Lil Goddard, and a lot of other people. We're here on Spill Your Sauce. I'm excited to be here, grateful to be here, and I hope we spill some amazing sauce, and I hope people actually learn and enjoy the stream.
That's it. So I guess you could also tell them like where you're from right now, where if you're living in Toronto, where you came from, how you got here.
Yeah, so I'm from India, but I grew up in Abu Dhabi in the United Arab Emirates. I grew up there for 14 years, and I moved to Toronto like a year and 2 months ago for university, and I'm doing university and music out here. So
Yeah, that's it. All right, well, we'll get into some of these questions we got lined out here. So the first one's a pretty big one, but if you want to give them some sauce, how did your first big break happen?
So as crazy as this seems, my first big placement and it becoming a hit all came off of a sample that I made back in, I think, 2019, if I'm correct, or 2020, I'm not sure. So basically, late 2019 was when everybody was getting into the whole being a sample maker and setting stuff out, all of that wave. And that's when I also was like, all right, I need to get into this, because I've always, at least at that point of time, I felt like I had a strong hand for melodies. And I was like, let's give it a shot, why not? I have nothing to lose. So I got into making melodies and started networking, and I soon realized that making the melodies is the easy part, but getting it out and getting it to people and actually getting work done with it is a much harder part. And, it was just that everyone was just hitting up each other on all social media and everywhere else and be like, yo, can I send you samples? Yo, can I send you samples? And realistically, if you see, if a big producer is going to get hundreds of those messages, there's nothing that he's going to do to open up your message. So I knew I had to find a different way to break through that cycle and then, make them want to open up the message and be like, yeah, I want to work with this guy. So around the same time is when I had the trial of Photoshop, and I started learning, like, just, experimenting my ideas and visually representing them through Photoshop, like, just making cover arts and concept arts and stuff. So what I did was I would hit up big producers or people who had connects or people who I really wanted to work with, regardless of whether they were big or not. And I would be like, yo, let me offer you free artwork for your kid or a song or an album or anything. And I just really like your stuff. I just really want to make something for you. So I started doing that and everybody started responding. Because you see, everybody's offering samples, but then when you offer a design, that's more like a custom thing that you exclusively make for one person. Realistically, it has higher value. So that's what I did. And I hit up a bunch of people from the industry, a bunch of big YouTube producers. And that was an easy way for me to start working with them. And over time, they were like, yeah, this guy's good at graphics. Let's check out his music as well. And I didn't even have to initiate anything. And people themselves, most of the times, were like, yo, send some samples, let's work on music as well. So the first song, Rags to Riches by Rod Wave, I worked with a very far co-producer of mine and a very good friend of mine. His name is Day6 Beats. So I offered him free artwork for one of his loop kits, and he was more than happy to accept it. And I remember a very kind gesture from him was he tried to pay for it as well. But then at the point, I didn't have PayPal because my parents were like, we can't let you have PayPal because you won't focus on school. So like he was insisting on paying, but then I had to be like, I'm sorry, I really cannot accept the money at any cost, but you can have the free artwork. And I've just been working with him, and then I started talking to him a little bit more. And over time, I was like, yo, can I send you some samples? He's like, hell yeah. And then I sent him samples, and I think he cooked I sent him a pack of 30 samples, if I'm correct. And this was the first time I ever sent out samples. And from that pack of 30, I think we cooked like 4 or 5 beats, all bangers. He sent them all back to me, and I was like, yo, these are some of the hardest beats people have done to my loops. I was mind blown. And then he uploaded it to YouTube, and I think about 8-9 months later, it had about, if I'm correct, 14,000 or 15,000 views. Next thing we know, I think in the last week of March in 2020, I get a text from Day 6 at night on a Wednesday, and he's like, yo, we got one on Rodwave's next album. And I was like, what?
Yeah.
I was flabbergasted.
Yeah. How old are you at this time?
I think I was 17.
17. That's crazy. So that's why you couldn't accept the PayPal.
Yeah. It's not just that. My parents told me no. Like, I could have found some way or the other to make it work, but my parents were like, no, you got to focus in school.
Is the beat still on YouTube?
It's not. We had to take it down.
Damn. Did they ask you to take it down before it came out or no?
I'm not sure, but we just took it down. I think it's just for, safety reasons. We don't want people ripping it off and stuff.
So you're 16, 17. It's before Rags to Riches came out. What are you doing? Like, you're in high school. Are you just doing graphic design? Are you cooking up like every day? How are you cooking up? Are you like, what DAW are you using? Are you selling beats? Or are you just cooking up, just getting ready to send out stuff before any of this happened?
I primarily use FL Studio. Not primarily, I mean, that's all I use. I just use FL Studio. At that point of time, I wanted to shop my beats around. I wanted to get beat sales. I wanted to sell my loop kits and stuff. Unfortunately, I didn't have a PayPal, and secondly, nobody was showing interest to buy my stuff.
Okay.
So I was like, fine, whatever. Like, I don't care. And money was not a huge aspect for me at all. Like, I never cared about the money. I just wanted to get my name out. I wanted to work with more people. I wanted to make good music at the time. My parents were super strict on school.
Yeah.
Like, they acknowledged that, I like doing music. I tried to explain to them that it's kind of like a stress relief thing for me.
Yeah.
Because I studied in an Indian private school.
Okay.
And Indian private schools, they're like, what would I say? The academic pressure is insane. Everybody's like, yo, you got to study.
Yeah.
You have to score well. Like, before I was even in 12th grade, like when I was in 9th grade, my parents and my grandmas and my uncles and aunts would be like, you have to do well for your 12th grade exams. I'm like,
Damn.
I'm in 9th. Like, let me chill. Let me live a little bit. Like, I mean, obviously, they're not like, I'd say compared to other families, my family's a lot more supportive.
Yeah.
They were all like, they understand I have an interest for music, but they also wanted me to do well in school.
Fair.
Primarily. I couldn't really do music openly and freely, I'd say. I used to for some time, but then over time, my parents were like, you got to stop doing music because they thought it was distracting me from school because I was also extremely bad at school.
Yeah.
My grades were below average. And my dad is like, it doesn't matter if you're smart or not. If you do hard work, you can achieve anything.
Facts.
And he would always tell that to me. And, like, he would try to motivate me a lot. Like, in that way, my dad's an amazing person.
Yeah.
But I just feel like school was not kind of like my thing.
Yeah.
And I still did kind of try my best, but I just like couldn't score good marks and stuff, so it was just kind of sad for me.
Yeah.
And because of that, I'd have to make beats secretly at night.
Yeah, you were telling me this. Yeah. Did the Rags to Riches come out when you were still out there in high school or no?
No, so I'm from India, but I didn't do my schooling there.
Yeah.
Border of the country, no music scene, nothing, no studios, nobody who makes music, nothing at all. It's just me in my room making beats secretly at night because my parents want me to study. I used to like put on headphones and make beats, but then my dad would wake up in between at the night to like go drink water and stuff, and he'd have to walk by my room. And I couldn't have my door closed because he would come in anyway, so I just leave it open. And like a couple of times my dad caught me with my headphones and he's like, oh, you're not studying. And even if I tried to explain to him like I'm watching like an educational video or something, he wouldn't take it. He's like, I know you're not studying. Like, so I was like, shit, I gotta find a different way. So what I would do is once they go to sleep, I'd put my computer on 2 volume, like, the volume bar.
Yeah.
2 volume. I had external speakers, but I put it on 2 volume.
Yeah.
And like, I'd crawl up close to the computer, keep my ears near the speakers, listen, make beats, make loops.
Crazy.
Save it, and then, like, just from one ear, I'd listen to the 808s if they're on key. From the other ear, I'd see if my dad is waking up and hear his footsteps and switch everything and, like, yeah.
That's joke. So, at your private school, did any of them know you were like, you had this placement or not? Like, it wasn't like that type of thing. Like, did anybody there, you go to school like the next week and remember like, yo, you're cooking up beats, eh? Like type thing or not?
So when I first started off making music, it was I think October 23rd, 2017 when I got FL Studio Trial and I started like messing around and making music. So at that point of time, whenever I'd made something, I would always like email a bunch of my friends. I put like the beats I made. I'm like, yo, I started trying to make music. This is what I made. Let me know what you guys think. And they were like the worst beats ever. Like they're horrendously bad. You'd want to chop your ears off. They're that bad. And like they were all good friends of mine. So they'd be like, yo, this is amazing. Like keep going. Like at that point, I didn't really think my stuff was bad. So I just took their compliments. I was like, yeah, okay, that's cool. That's great.
All right, so you get the placement, and I'm assuming you got reached out by Hallwood Media before you came to Toronto, or did you come? Were you planning on coming? Did you want to come to Toronto, or like how did that all come about? How did the deal come about with Murda Beatz team? Did they help you get here? How was that? How would that all work out?
Okay, so this is kind of crazy, but basically what it was is that Rags to Riches dropped, and in that same week, my manager Danny Berkeley Scott, one of my managers, he hit me up and he was like, "Yo, Murda wants loops from you, so send me some stuff."
Crazy.
So I was like, "Yo, that's crazy. This is like one of the first kind of like successful effects I saw from the release of the song."
Okay.
So I was like, "Yo, that's crazy." So first thing I did is I stalked this guy's whole profile.
For Danny's or Murda?
Danny.
Okay.
Because I know who Murda Beatz is.
Okay.
Murda Beatz is a huge inspiration to me. I used to make Murda Beatz type beats and put it on YouTube.
Crazy.
So that was one of my things. But yeah, I was like, yo, that's crazy. I thought this guy was just like, saying something. But then turns out this guy's actually like with Murda and actually like, he could probably really know who I am and want my stuff. So I sent stuff to him. I started working with him, start talking over a period of time. And then Corey comes into the picture over a period of time. And Corey and Danny are both talking to me. And then Corey and Danny are like, yo, we want to call and talk to you. And then they're like, yo, we run a management company. At the time, it was not Hallwood. It was 2020.
Okay.
That was Corey Litwin's company.
Okay.
And it was with him and Danny, and they had a bunch of other producers as well. So they reached out to me and Day6. So I would talk to Day6 as well and see like, oh, they're trying to manage me. What do you think? And they tried to manage him as well.
So they first reached out for samples, and then after you sent some stuff, they reached back out and they're like, yo, like, how do you, or was it initially like samples and then the next message was like, yo, do you need?
Nah, so there was like a bunch of talking and, like they tried to get to know me and stuff. It was like very nice. I didn't feel like they were trying to like, just like, oh yeah, sign this kid. It was like gradual, it was like naturally.
Yeah, which is what you want.
Slow pace. I didn't feel rushed. So I was grateful for that. And then they were like, yo, we wanna manage you. So then at this point, I know nothing about the business side of the industry. I know nothing about deals. I don't know about lawyers, management, anything. I just know I'm working, I'm making music, I'm trying to get it out. That's all I know. So I'm on a call with them, and for like, I think 1 hour, 2 hour, just question after question.
They're asking you or you're asking them?
I'm asking them.
Yeah. And
they answer everything.
Are you on this call solo? Is your pops with you?
So this call, it was solo.
Okay.
So here's the thing. The first week after Rags to Riches dropped, I was afraid to tell my parents.
You scared to tell them you got the placement?
Yeah.
Damn.
Because they wanted to like get my bank details and stuff to send me money.
Okay.
And I was like, oh my God, what do I do?
They wanted you to get your credit, get your bag from it.
No, so they sent me the producer agreement for the song like 1 week before the release.
Okay.
And then I was like, okay, fine, just like, went back and forth and everything. I just looked over it myself. I tried doing whatever I could without my parents. And then 1 week after the release, I was like, I should tell my parents, Like, I didn't want to. I was scared. I don't know for what reason.
Yeah.
I was just super frightened. Because I was strict dad. So.
Yeah.
But I didn't know like what could happen. So I just didn't want to tell him. And then I told him after a week. And then he's like, oh, that's great. That's amazing news. My dad was like more supportive than I'd imagined. And I was like, wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
So then I started explaining to him that, I'm in touch with the team, with the lawyers. They're trying to like get me to sign this agreement which says how much I'll get splits, how much money I'll get, what's the advance, everything on that.
Yeah.
It was hard for us to understand. But then me and my dad just went through it as much as we could, and then we just signed it, did whatever was required, at the time.
And then I remember you were telling me a while ago that your dad was actually like helped you with the contract wise. Like he was like, you showed him the contract and he was like, okay, I'm gonna go through this line by line. And he like, and you want to explain that? Because that was crazy to me when you told me that.
So my dad is an amazing guy.
Yeah.
Like, shout out to him.
Yeah. Hopefully he's watching.
I should show this to him.
Should definitely send it in.
Yeah. So my dad would always go through all the contracts.
Mm-hmm. Like every line.
Every line. He would break it down, even though he couldn't like understand because there's a lot of musical and like lawyer terms that agreements are made so that normal people don't understand. When I was like, we're going to go through every line. My dad tried to understand as much as he could from every line. He'd say, my dad always says this, any agreement, anything you have, print it out, get a highlighter, get a pen, mark out everything. He'd put sticky notes. He'd be like, what does this mean? What does this mean? If this is what it means, then how would this affect this?
Yeah.
Just like
Smart.
understand everything completely. And he would be like, because it's an agreement and you're signing, you should understand and know everything that's in it, right? Because if you're putting your signature, you need to know what you're signing as well. You can't just be signing anything around here.
Yeah.
So me and my dad, we signed the contract, the producer agreement for Rags to Riches without a lawyer.
Okay.
I'm still 17 at the time.
Okay.
And we signed it without a lawyer because we didn't know we need a lawyer and stuff.
Was Danny and Murda's team kind of helping out with that, or was
helping out with that? But they were still like, just like, getting into the picture.
Okay, cool.
And I'd already gotten the contract by then.
So is your pops asking them questions, or who is he asking these questions? Like, is he Google searching these questions, or like when he has a question about the contract, are you guys hitting up Danny at this point, or you guys are just searching it yourself, trying to figure it out?
So at this point, Danny and Corey are not managing me as of yet. I think it was about 2 or 3 months after the song came out when they actually got to manage me and stuff.
Okay.
So another story is when they wanted to manage me, I told you I had like a 1 hour, 2 hour call with Danny and Corey where they explained to me that they want to manage me and I had questions for them. At the end of that call, I told Danny and Corey, if you want to sign me, you have to convince my dad.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sold, but if my dad doesn't say yes, then I'm not going to sign.
Yeah.
To top it off, I was a minor, so it wouldn't matter. It all depends on my dad. So I told my dad, and they're like, sure, we'll set up a call with Danny and Corey. We'll get through the call. We'll understand everything.
Yeah.
We'll see what they're offering. We'll see what management actually is. So then I think it was some day in a week. Danny and Corey called. We set up a Zoom call, and I told my dad that we're going to have a call at this time.
Sick.
And then the call starts. Danny and Corey are there. They're introducing themselves to my dad. I'm with my dad.
Yeah.
My dad is on the phone the most of the time.
Okay.
I'm just next to him, just being there.
Yeah.
So they're talking to my dad. They're like, he's a kid right now. He's just had a song which has potential to go super big.
Yeah.
And this is what we do. You have to find like talents like him, and then we have to help build it up. So we turn one hit into multiple hits.
Yeah.
And a bunch of other stuff. Like it was very motivational.
Yeah.
And they show that they actually want to do something for me,
Okay.
And my dad also had a bunch of questions.
Yeah.
And my dad is he's like a hard kind of guy.
Yeah.
Like he's nice most of the time, but then when it comes to certain stuff, he's like super hard and strict about it.
Yeah. And like you said, a lot of people are trying to take like contracts and stuff. They take advantage of people. Yeah.
So my dad would ask like a bunch of questions. When this call was going on, Corey Litwin's management company, which is 2020, which I said, was merging and becoming Hallwood Media.
Okay.
I think this was about 4 or 5 months after the release of the song. I think 6 months if I'm correct. I had already signed the contract by then without them. So they didn't help with the contract at the point.
Okay.
Like I did ask them a few questions and stuff. And they gave me a couple of advices, not about the contract itself, but about the process.
Okay.
So they helped in that point. But then we signed the contract and we just sent it back. So at a point in the call, Corey got the, I don't know if he's the head or the CEO of Hallwood Media. His name is Neil Jacobson. They brought him in the call to convince my dad.
Okay.
So my dad wasn't convinced easily.
Yeah.
So they brought this Neil Jacobson guy in, and he's telling my dad, like, yo, we want to sign your son.
Yeah.
Like, we're actually going to turn this guy into, like, something big. And my dad was also kind of, like, budging.
Yeah.
And then you could see, like, Neil Jacobson was trying super hard. Like, he was like, yeah, we want this kid.
Yeah.
So my dad saw that, and he was like, all right, fine. So what had happened was, because we had already signed the contract, after I signed the contract, I hadn't been paid for 6 months.
Crazy.
6 months after signing the agreement.
Yeah.
The lawyers of the
Is this including advance or just royalties?
This is the advance.
Okay.
Royalties you anyway cannot collect until 9 months after the release.
Okay.
Something like that. So I hadn't got my advance. I signed everything. I sent it back. I didn't get the signed version back or something. The lawyer who was talking to me ghosted me. The A&R started responding to me. I'm like, what do? I have a song. I'm supposed to get paid. I don't know what to do. So I just like, my dad kept asking me over this course of 6 months, like, where's the money? I didn't know what to tell him. And then during this call, at the end, my dad tells Neil Jacobson, Corey and Danny, we haven't been paid for the song, the advance amount. We're giving you until tomorrow morning. If you can manage them to get the money in our so-and-so bank account, we'll sign with you.
Crazy.
Next thing we know, we go to sleep, we wake up in the morning, money's in the bank account. My mom's like, yo, we got the money. And I'm like, shit. My dad's like, that's it. was signed. Like,
Crazy.
because my dad was like, okay, I know you want to offer something, but you have to show that you can do something.
Okay.
And in the 1 month before that, they were like giving me opportunities like, oh, send beats for this, like Murda for this session, all that stuff. So that's what it was. So my dad was like, yeah.
That's legendary. You told me that before. That was crazy. Did you pay your pops?
I actually have not, but I do plan on paying him back.
Damn.
I actually genuinely want to. Like, my dad is a legend. I cannot lie.
Actually, why don't you tell us about another shoe placement that you got before we open it up? You probably already know which one I'm talking about.
Yeah. So
And how that came about, and then we'll open it up.
Sure. So as of right now, I only have 2 songs out. I have been working and I have a couple of other songs, but hopefully they come out. But as of now, it's only 2. So the second song besides Racks for Riches is Petty 2.
Bang.
Thank you. It's a song by Lil Durk and Future.
Yeah.
On Lil Durk's latest album from this year, 7220.
Okay.
So so the way this song came about was I think February of 2021, if I'm correct. I reached out to these 2 twin brother producers. Their name is iRock and DJ Young Paro.
Okay.
Super fire.
Yeah, they're twins?
They're twins. I found these guys on Instagram, and I was like, I messaged them like, yo, I want to work with you guys. Let me send you some samples.
Yeah.
They responded immediately. I sent the first pack of the year to them.
Your first pack of the year you sent to them?
Yeah.
How many people did you send it to? What'd you say? Are you sending out, are you doing more exclusive packs at this point, or are you still public? You have an email list you're blasting there, or are you just yeah, I want to work with these 2 guys, I'm gonna send them an exclusive pack?
So for those 2 guys, I sent my first pack of January, which I had just made, and I hadn't sent it out yet, if I'm correct. I was planning on sending it out, but I was just finishing up the pack. I was like, yo, okay. Sometimes I don't send the pack out to everyone. I'm just like, if a few people show interest in working with me, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna send the pack to them first,
Okay.
So this is the only time this has ever happened. I send the pack to them, and I think I sent 2 packs, if I'm correct, or maybe just 1 pack. It has 15 samples.
Okay. 15's your limit in a pack, or it's just
15 is my limit at the time.
at the time?
It's changed now. I'll explain about that later. But
Okay.
15 samples, I sent it to them, and within 7 hours, they sent back 7 beats.
Come on. Wow.
That's never happened to me.
That's crazy.
All of them fire, all of them kind of different. Crazy. I was mind blown. I was like, yo, I got 1 more pack.
Yeah.
Send another pack. Next day, I get back. Next day, or I think 2 days later, I get 6 more beats back.
Wow.
I'm like, yo, this is amazing.
Yeah, these guys are hard.
Because besides anything else, the happiness you get from seeing people enjoying and using your music, it's a different thing to explain. It's hard to put it into words, but just seeing that something that you made on your computer is letting other people want to use it and add stuff to it and make actual beats with it. Especially when you see more than 1 beat is made from a sample pack. So it's a huge thing for me. I have huge respect for a person when they do that.
So these 2 guys get you loops, they make the beats on it, and then you get them back, and then how long until one of them got placed?
You know the album The Voice of the Heroes?
Yep.
So that came out in 2021, if I'm correct. When people were saying, when Baby and Durk dropped pictures of them both together saying oh, Voice of the Heroes tape dropping soon.
Yeah.
At that time, everybody was like, okay, we got to get stuff on this album. So I think it was iRock. iRock goes live on his Instagram, and he doesn't have a lot of people in there. I think it was me and a couple of other people only. I'm like, yo, what's up, what's good, He's like, yo, Zippy was good. And he's like, yo, we got one with Durk.
He says this on live.
He just says yo, I'm gonna hit you up after the live. We got one with Durk.
Crazy.
I'm like, what?
Yeah.
I was shocked. And then he ended the live, and then I messaged him. I'm like, yo, you said on live we got one with Durk? He's like, yeah, we got one with Durk. He said, you know anything more about it? He said, no clue, but we just know Durk recorded one of our beats.
Insane.
And then I was just hoping I might be on the Durk and Baby album, because I just hope so. Then the album came out, I wasn't on there. But yo, iRock had another song on there. iRock and DJ Young.
Oh, they had one on that one too.
Yeah, they had a fire song.
Which one was that?
I think it's called 2040 or something.
True.
Fire song.
Hard.
I'm not sure, but yeah, it's a fire song.
Yeah.
They did it with Nile Waves, if I'm correct.
Okay.
Yeah, so they had a fire song on there. And I was just like, all right, cool, whatever. And then over time, I forgot about it. And then come 2022, I think it was March of this, not March, I think it was February of this year. I was just with a couple of friends. We were walking in Dundas Square, and I was going to one of my friend's house for dinner. And while I'm as I pass by Eden Center and Dundas Square, I get a call from Danny. He's like, yo, just got word from Alamo A&R that one of your beats with he says I Rock and DJ Young Paro is on the Durk album dropping next month.
Crazy.
What? And at this point, I didn't even know Durk had an album coming out. So I go and check. He's like, oh shit, 7220 coming out soon. And then I'm like, what? That's crazy. And then about the same time, I think one day or the next day later or something, even iRock hits me up. He's like, yo, we got one on the Durk album.
Crazy.
That's insane.
Yeah.
I'm like excited. Like, I'm just talking to him like, is it gonna drop? He's like, yeah, it's gonna drop. Like, that's fire. And then 1 week later, I'm in class. Like, I just finished class and I'm just, we're just staying in. I'm just finishing like assignments and stuff.
Yeah.
And Daddy calls me again. He's like, yo, just got word from Alamo A&R. There's a big feature on it. He said, it's not Drake. I'm like, oh, but it's a big feature on the song. He said, I asked, do you know who it is? He's like, nah, I don't know. But we'll find out soon enough. But we know there's a big feature on it.
Crazy.
And then I text iRock. I'm like, yo, I heard there's a big feature on it. He's like, yeah. He says, I remember he said, yeah, fool, you're just going to have to wait and watch.
That's what he said to you?
That's what he said, something like that.
Damn.
And I was like, yo, suspense was killing me. At the same time, I was like, I don't want to think. I'm not expecting anything. Whoever it is, I'll be more than happy to take it. And then, I think March, first week of March or second week of March, 1 week before the album drops, he releases the track list. And then the fifth song, Petty 2, Lil Durk Future. And then iRock is like produced by iRock, DJ and Paro and Zypitano.
Cool.
And I'm like, what?
Crazy.
Future?
Go.
That is insane.
Yeah.
Because at the time, I had like a wish list kind of thing, like, my goals for 2020.
Yeah.
And 2021, it said, get a song with Future.
Crazy. And it's your second placement. Major. It's insane.
Like, he's a feature.
Still. I think that song did it get. It was like personally, it's my favorite from that album, but I think it did one of the best songs on that album. I think.
Yes, it's like top 5 at least.
Yeah, if you want to open up that session, it'd be fire if we can look at it. Let's dive into this. So this is the Petty 2 one.
Oh, this is the Rags to Riches one. This one, or you want the Petty 2 one?
We can do them both quick if we got time. I think. We'll do the Rags to Riches to start. So you did the sample on this.
Yeah, I did the sample on this.
Did you touch any drums on this or no?
This is all D6.
Sick.
I wouldn't have wanted to touch the drums anyways.
All right. Let's so let's see. I guess let's just play it out first. Let's just hear the sample first by itself, and then maybe you can dive into like some of the VSTs and stuff that you got going on there. So. Super hard. When you were making this, did you have a feeling like you were gonna this is fire, or it was just another loop?
I'm gonna be honest. The day I made this, I made like 7-10 other loops.
Okay. So
I was trying to make this was like for the first pack I was gonna send out. I made, if I'm correct, 65 loops. I divided 30 into side A, 30 into side B, and I took my email list and I sent every alternate one side A, every alternate one side B.
Damn.
And then next month I sent everyone
different. Yeah, smart. All right, so you want to go through like some of the synths that you were using on this?
So there's no synths.
No synths. These are all one shots.
No, they're not one shots, but they're all mostly like Omnisphere sounds, but I don't have Omnisphere on this computer.
Okay.
So I had them exported as one shots to use them here.
Uh-huh.
But the first and the main sound that plays throughout, 3 of the sounds are from this VST by Arturia called Piano V2.
Okay, fire.
Beautiful VST. Underrated. I don't know why nobody uses this.
Piano one? It's super underrated.
And you can get a free trial for this too. It's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
It's a beautiful VST. You have you have a bunch of
different
presets that sound different, get different pianos. You can modify it to have so it basically kind of emulates how you would record an actual piano. So you can change the way the mic is positioned.
Sick.
You can have the thing opened or closed with the lid of the piano. You can change, you can EQ it. You can do everything on here. It's a beautiful VST, but nobody uses it for some reason.
Yeah, sick.
So I use that to have this main piano melody that plays throughout the song.
It's crazy.
Yeah, the MIDI is not too complex.
Mhm.
So
And would you say you're advanced in theory or?
I don't know anything about theory.
No, nothing.
I make everything by ear. I'll just be walking around. I have an idea. I immediately like note it down or like keep singing it at the computer.
Yeah.
I remake the basic MIDI and then I mess around with it and do whatever. So one of the main ways I start making my MIDIs for my melodies is I lay down a bass note, like
Mhm.
bass melody.
Yeah.
So just the bass notes, like the most lowest notes, they're G, F, D, and D sharp.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. It's just like I take those notes, duplicate them up, build chords around them, and then keep building more, like have like a top line kind of thing, play with the velocities. And this is a trick I learned from Rio Leva. So back in 2019, early 2020, before Rio Leva blew up, he'd have a YouTube channel where he showed how to make Q beats type samples.
Okay.
And he also showed like how to make piano melodies. He had 3 videos up and a free loop kit out.
Yeah.
And nobody knew him. He had like 150 followers at the time.
Crazy.
And I watched this video and I was like, yo, this is a beautiful trick.
Mm-hmm.
So I watched like all of his videos and I was like, okay, this is a cool trick. I'll try it. And this method, like I adapted it very quickly, like laying the bass notes and then building it into MIDI. So that was my go-to method for all my samples mostly.
Sick.
So that's what I did for the MIDI. And for the other sounds, I have the same piano duplicated playing an octave higher at some parts, which is all of these ones. And I also have a third piano that plays like a weird organ kind of thing, which is, I don't know what it is. It's like a upright piano, a random one. And it plays this super simple melody. Many people don't hear it, but like it's there in the back. And
I swear you talked about this in that Genius video too. I swear you said the exact same thing. You don't hear it, but it's in the background.
It's just the back. Fills up a little bit of the space. So there's the melody.
Fire.
That's just something super simple.
Yeah.
It's like a counter melody, but then because it's playing at a higher octave, this is playing on the 7th octave.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like velocity is all the way down, volume is all the way down.
Mm-hmm.
You don't really hear it, but then it's just there in the back.
Yeah. It's like if you really, it's good. It's good little like texture stuff.
It gives variation to the song as well.
For sure. So this one this is only what you did on that one. You did the sample.
Yeah, just a sample, and I have like a few other like layers of pads and a sub bass, and that's pretty much it. And I had a gross beat automation that kind of glitches the melody.
Fire. And did they keep like the same tempo, same pitch on this, or did they switch it a little bit?
So Day 6 slowed it down. I think if I'm correct, he pitched it down as well.
Sick.
So the original sample sounds like this. I have the original sample here.
The one that he used?
Yeah. So it was called Forever Alone, 154 BPM. And I made this on July 7th, 2019.
You aren't alone anymore, my guy.
So this is the sample.
Hard.
So it's pretty much the same.
Mm-hmm.
But then, yeah, so Day 6 took it, I think pitched it down, if I'm correct. Pitched it down, slowed it down to 120 BPM-ish.
Fire.
Played the craziest drums ever.
Yeah. The drums were crazy on that. So you showed us this project. Could you mind opening it up Petty 2 as well?
Yeah.
Cool. What's some of like the go-to VSTs at the moment? Like we know you use Piano V2. I saw you open up Analog Labs. A bunch of homies from Toronto have kits and stuff on there, which is super cool. Some fire ones.
No Analog Lab.
No Analog Lab. But Piano V2's from the same...
It's Arturia, so you get it in the Arturia bundle, but I got this alone.
Oh, okay, word.
So I got this in 2019 when the Arturia... I don't know if Arturia bundle was there back then, but then I just saw a video where people would show free VSTs, and this was the ones on there.
Sick.
I was like, yeah, I gotta get...
Sick. And then what's your go-tos like at the moment, if you were to say?
At the moment, I'd say from the Arturia bundle, CS80V, one of my favorite VSTs ever.
Sick.
Beautiful sounds.
Yeah.
I think it emulates an actual vintage synthesizer.
Sick.
Yeah. And besides that, I'm gonna spill some sauce. I love sub basses.
Okay.
Like, you will not find a single sample that I make without sub bass.
Fire.
Like, I just feel like it adds that depth, and it's like the missing puzzle piece to everything.
Yeah.
Sub bass. And there's this plugin by the sound designer called Rob Papin.
Okay.
He has this plugin called Sub Boom Bass 2.
Sub Boom Bass 2.
Yeah. Nobody knows about this plugin.
I fuck with sub basses too, and I don't know about it.
Yeah. And this has like bass sequences, bass arps, synth basses, and you can sound design your own basses.
Sick. Is it free or what?
It's not free.
That's all right. How much do you want to plug it? Where you can grab it from?
I'm not sure. I don't remember it, to be honest.
But it's called, one more time, what's it called?
It's Rob Papin is the he's the sound designer and the guy who made the VST, and the VST is called Sub Bass 2.
Okay.
And the first version of this plugin, Sub Boom Bass 1, is used by Phonics Beats on J. Cole's No Role Models as well.
Oh, sick.
I didn't know that, but I found it out recently.
Crazy.
But I did use it to I do use it in a lot of other samples, and I use it to create my own sub basses sometimes.
sick.
I just feel like I like thick and grungy sub basses with a lot of low mid.
Yeah, for sure.
Between the low and the mid.
Sure. Let's open this up. So what's going on in this one? Are you same thing, just sample, or do you get some drums in on it?
This is just samples.
Sick.
So all my placements are off of samples.
Sick.
Because I feel like that's the easiest way to get placements, to work with people.
Mm-hmm.
Like recently I've been getting more into working with people and doing drums together.
Okay.
Which is a more fun experience in my opinion, because I love doing drums way more than making samples.
Okay.
But then, it's what it is. So I'm going to play the final sample.
Yeah.
It was called Blue Streaks. Surprisingly, this is also 154 BPM.
The other one was 154 as well. Sick. And what's it called again? What'd you say it was?
This is called Blue Streaks.
Blue Streak.
I don't know why it's called Blue Streaks.
You're in the gangs.
So that's the melody. It's, I think the first sound and the main sound throughout again is a piano. I think it's Alicia keys, if I'm correct. Yep, Alicia's keys.
Where's that from?
It's just a Kodak library. I think it's by.
Oh, it's Contact Library. Okay.
I don't know who it is by.
And are you you said this is all in the box, or are you doing this on a MIDI keyboard, or this is still you clicking it in?
So I don't know how to play keys.
Yeah.
I did have 3 years of Indian. I had Carnatic music training for the keyboard, which is like South Indian, not folk music, but like classical music.
Yeah.
I was coached 3 years in it to play on the keyboard.
Sick.
So that's the only experience I had with the keyboard, and I tried to cover, Ed Sheeran Shape of You tutorial on piano, keyboard, all that stuff. But then I never really learned to play the keyboard. Never really learned to play the keys.
Yeah.
So I just click everything in, believe it or not.
Sick.
Until this day. Recently, because I work with more people in real life and go to studios where they have synths and stuff, the synths are
Yeah. Like the room we're in right now has some crazy gear in here.
This place has some crazy gear. Somebody's got to give a studio tour for this video.
For sure. Okay, let's hear the sample one more time. Make sure the level's all right before you dive into it. Let's hear it.
Let's see. So the main melody is.
Can you just play it once back, once more?
Whole sample?
Yeah, let's just make sure we can hear it. All right, so yeah, let's break it down. Let's see what we got in here.
All right, so the first sound is a piano off of Alicia's keys, and again the same trick. I use the same trick. Lay down the bass notes, duplicate it up, and make it into a chord, and then have a top melody.
Sick.
This one has, I'd say this is one of my more intricate melodies. It might not seem intricate, but it's actually pretty intricate. So let me just play.
Yeah, and you're doing everything parallel time. Crazy. Super hard. And you're doing this all in one. Why? Is there any reason why you're doing it in the same pattern? Or you just got used to doing it like that?
I just like having complicated midis.
Sick.
So this is just that. I think this is triplet. Is it triplet? No, it's not triplet. But yeah, I use a lot of small notes in between and stuff. So that's that. And then the next sound is off of the Arturia DX7 VST. What is this? Yeah, just a simple like bell in the back.
Fire. And this is a
So this is playing the top melody part of the first piano melody.
sick.
So the piano melody, if I go back to it, if you see, this has the bass notes. It has a duplicated, the same bass notes duplicated 1 octave higher
Yeah.
with a few more cuts in between.
Sick.
And then above that, I have more like small notes. They're no long. They're all like small notes. So it feels like it's jumpy, you know?
Sick.
It doesn't feel like it's continuous and soft. It's like
For sure.
all the notes keep switching over time. So I just took, I think, some part of the top melody and pasted it onto this next sound, which is this bell, kind of arp kind of thing.
Fire. And that ARP, where's that ARP from?
This is from DX7V. This is like a bell. I don't think it's an arp. And then the next thing I have is this like simple pad. It just plays like some kind of like, give it some ambience.
Okay.
Yeah, this is off of Jupe 8. This is something I love as well. It's very good VST. And then I had something off of Modular, which is just another like kind of key kind of thing.
Crazy.
This has like, I don't know what, it just sounded cool to me.
Yeah.
So I just put something. This is super simple. Like it's just playing like nothing crazy.
It's giving it like more texture for sure.
And the lead is from Massive, but I do not have Massive on my computer.
That's all right.
I installed it. Yeah, but this is the notes it plays. Yeah, I don't have Massive.
That's all right.
This is a simple lead with a bunch of portamento on it.
Fire.
And that's it. And then, last thing I have is a bass. So this is a bass that I made. Kind of like I edited a bass. It's called March of the Dead Anthem sub bass. I was young and I named everything in a crazy.
Yeah, that's all right.
But yeah, it just plays the bass notes of the melody.
Sick. Crazy.
It just keeps repeating. Just super simple. Nothing crazy. And then, what is this? Oh yeah, so I reversed the keys and had it in there as well. So I took the piano, the main piano melody, recorded it into Edison, brought it back into the playlist and reversed it.
You want to open up how much time was spent on that project?
Yeah.
Let's see.
1 hour, 28 minutes, and this was 5, 10, 20.
So that's
5th.
2020. Crazy. Do you usually find yourself spending this long on loops?
At this point, around 2020, yes.
Yes.
Spending like much more time on my loops because I had some more sounds to use with unlike before.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Sick. That's wicked. That's cool. That's cool to see. I was actually interested by that. Anything else about this project you want to share that's kind of like cool that you did? Are you worrying about like your levels when you're doing this stuff, like your master output? Are you putting anything on it to like make it louder, or you're kind of just like
Nothing on the master.
fire?
Raw.
Fire.
I do believe that this sample has the lead a little too loud, but then the vocals kind of like, go well with the lead, so I'm not complaining.
Yeah, sick.
But I would agree if people tell me the lead is too loud, because this is that point of time where I was like, okay, I like leads. I'm going to put leads on everything.
Okay.
So for this sample, I wanted to put a flute instead of a lead, but then I couldn't find a flute, and I was like, I don't have good flute sounds. And because at that point of time when I was making samples, I felt like only put a lead if I was making something that had like the rest of the melodies were synthy.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't want to like put a lead synth on a guitar melody.
Fair.
And I did it on a piano as well. So this was like, I didn't want to do it, but I did it.
Yeah.
And then it reached somewhere. So I mean, I'm not complaining.
There you go. That's sick.
So just try different things.
Try different things.
Sometimes you'll feel like there's a box that you cannot step out of. Just step out.
Okay, cool. Let's hop into the hookup section. We'll go to, we're going to hop on to waves.com. Amazing samples, arguably like the highest quality of samples you can probably find on the internet. Waves is the highest quality stuff, and it's really affordable, actually. It's not bad pricing for the packs you can get on there. You can get samples, MIDIs. You can search by genres, by which instrument you're looking for. You can browse through specially curated selections based on certain sounds like dark hip-hop, an orchestral loop, or even an artist name like Kanye The Weeknd. It's kind of like the Spotify for special playlists, but for samples. I use it myself. Super cool website. A lot of artist packs on there. You can get specific artists, upload multiple sample packs and that. But yeah, waves.com is definitely a cheat code at the moment. Everybody watching should have an account or tap in with an account. So what I think we're going to do now, we're going to try to we're going to go through some packs, find a cool sample, and Zippy's we're gonna cook up real quick, make a little beat off a cool sample. Yeah, well, round of applause for waves.com real quick. Shout out waves.com. Super goated website, like I said. Everybody should check it out. And we're gonna swift through some samples on here. All right, so we're on waves.com right now.
So basically, you have a bunch of samples on here. I think this is the explore page kind of thing. I don't know. I think these are the samples that are popping kind of right now or something that they're showing to me. But you have filters here where you can choose the tempo, the key, genre, what kind of instrument you want in it, what is format. Okay, what kind of files, licenses, dates, and stuff. So you have complete freedom to like search and get exactly what you want. And I think they have a bunch of people uploading this stuff on the site, so you have a lot to choose from. Yeah, so
let's go through them. Let's go through some.
So I'm gonna try to find something that's energetic. So when I make beats or anything, my go-to thing is to have energy. Energy in the sample, energy in the beat, you know?
For sure.
Energy in the sense that when you listen to it, you want to like start dancing. Makes you want to groove, you know? You're like, yeah.
All right.
Not like just like a sad beat or like a dark beat, like something that makes you want to like dance, you know?
Yeah.
I'm saying like it needs to have that high energy.
Fair, a good two-step to it. All right, so what pack? What do you say? What's your key search that you're gonna go for? Are you just gonna go through like the popular ones, or are you gonna search something?
I'm gonna search for something 152 BPM because that's like a good number, I feel.
Okay.
52 to 152.
There we go.
Key. Let's just see and find out.
So when you're listening to this stuff, are you thinking like when you're getting samples like this, are you gonna try to flip them, or you don't mind keeping the original, like how it is, or do you like trying to flip it where like they won't be able to know what sample you got?
Marathon. I never flip samples.
Sick. You just like adding drums.
At max, like if I hear a sample and it inspires me so much, where I start doing counter melodies, I'll first go in and make counter melody on.
Sick.
This is hard, but for somewhat.
Ooh. Some miss the rage type stuff.
Rage stuff. Not reading rage, but yeah, that's pretty fun.
Ooh. Are these all from different packs or something?
Yeah, from different people. I just searched up 152 BPM.
Fire.
Just going through what is there.
Ooh. Hard.
Nice, yeah.
Let's talk. Hard.
This one might come back to us later. Next one. Yeah, this is fire.
This one's hard.
This
is the one?
Sir.
All right.
This is the sample. This is by Piso. Sorry if I'm saying your name wrong.
Imagine having a sample and all of a sudden you see it on stream 4-time rider, platinum producer. About to flip it.
People are going to be confused on what rider is. I'm going to stick to Zippy for now.
No, rider's hilarious.
Alright, let's get it. Okay. Downloaded it and we're in the DAW. Alright, so we have the sample loaded up in here. And the first thing I do with all my samples is I bring it in. I match the project file to the tempo on the sample. So this is 152. I've set it to 152. Once I do that, I open the sample and then I click on mode and change it to stretch. So if you do this, you can change the tempo of your project and it won't change the tempo of the sample. So like it's a 152 right now. Let's say I want to bring it to like 90, let's say. Suppose I bring it to like 92. So it's still the same.
Hard.
So it doesn't change the time, like signatures of it. It just changes the tempo of the project.
For sure.
So it just plays it slower. So that's what I do. But yeah, I'm going to keep it at 152 for this. Fire sample.
Yes, it's hard.
Next thing I do is I go to declicking mode and select generic or smooth. This is because after I do all my drums and when I start arranging the beat out, I always chop the sample into sections and arrange it the way I want to so it builds up and drops inside the phase.
Fair.
So once that's done, I then go put the sample to the first mixer track. Once I have the sample in, go to the master, I put a parametric EQ, boost the mids a little bit, boost the highs a little bit. And below that, I have the soft clipper. This is so your beats hit a little harder. And I don't know what soft clipper does in theory, but then basically it takes your beats to hit at a point right before where they clip.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm correct.
Sounds.
Off of my sound, that's what I think at least. So I could be wrong, but if you know what's right, then let me know in the comments.
All right, so we got the sample.
Yeah.
So what's your go? Continue. Sorry.
Yeah. So I go on the mixed track assigned to the sample, and then I put an EQ. I just have an EQ on there. I don't do anything as of yet. I do it later if I need to change something. And then I use Goodhertz Megaverb 3, and I usually put it between like 15 to 17%, just to reverb on the sample. And then I use this free VST called Wider by Polyverse.
Fire VST actually.
Yeah, it's fire. I just put it on 40%. So the sample goes to the side, kind of. I don't know what the term is. I think stereo mono or something.
Yeah, stereo.
Yeah, so I do that so the drums get in the center.
Okay, interesting.
Because if you don't do this, then you feel like everything is clashing, even if if you mix your levels properly.
Yeah.
From what I've seen.
Fair.
That's what I do. And the next thing I do is I play the sample and bring it down to 12 on the master, the meter thingy. So this is right about 12 now, so I just bring it down a little bit. So we're perfect. Because that's the volume I feel is perfect for me to make the drum patterns in. Next thing I do, I have my drum pattern bass in, select that region on the playlist, go to all, and I use my own drum kit because I have sound that I use all the time.
Fire kit. Why don't you go ahead and plug it? Do you have it out right now?
It's not out.
Okay.
It's only for friends and family.
Okay. I have it. It's fire.
I know.
It's a heater.
Yeah.
Go-to.
It's like an exclusive thing, you know?
Sick.
But yeah, it's like all the sounds consist of most of my go-to sounds and a few other sounds that I designed. Not designed exactly, but like kind of made, I'd say.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I use this 808. This is my go-to 808. This is called the Spaz 808. Hold on. I didn't drag it in, my bad. So the Spaz 808 is like the Spins 808, but it's like a TM88 edited version of it.
Okay.
And it just hits a little better. Like it looks the same, but it hits better.
Okay.
So first thing I do is I take the out knob so that it kind of like goes out to, it looks like this. Next thing I boost it to 1%. 1%. It's very hard to do this with the mouse because it might go too much. 1%, 1%, 2%. I put it on turbo mode. There. Oh my god. Hold on, I gotta do this thing. Oh my god. There we go, 1%. And then I put the volume all the way up, and then I cut the 808. And then the next thing we do is we go to find the key of the 808. Always have the velocity on full as well. Let's see now. So I always find the note of the 808 off of my ear, so. And I do it with a little bit of, like if you hum out, like when I listen to the sample, I can hear where the 808 is supposed to hit. The thing is, I just don't know the theory to say what note it is.
Fair.
So I just keep singing it and keep playing the 808 on a different key until it matches my voice. And then I know it's correct. So I did that and I found it at F sharp. So when I do my drums, I always start with the 808 because realistically, the 808 is the most melodic part of all your drums.
Yeah.
It's where you can identify the notes, where it has to be in key.
Yeah.
So it's like laying down a melody, except it's not a melody.
Fair.
I hate off-key 808s.
It ruins the whole beat.
Yeah, it ruins the whole beat. I mean, it works sometimes, but for me personally, off-key 808s is a big no-go.
Yeah, no.
It's one of the reasons why I have sub-basses in all my loops.
To make sure that
people know that you follow the sub-bass, you'll be on key.
100%.
Yeah. So that's what it is. So when I start off my 808 patterns, I keep it quite simple, not too crazy. And then once I have all the notes laid out throughout the span of the bar, I start adding a few notes here and there and making it more complex. So I'm gonna show you guys a few kind of tricks that I realized off of doing 808s, because I know at first it was just like 808s, or like you have a lot of fast hitting 808s, and then there was 808 rolls. I've been through all those phases, but then I just felt like I want to do something more different, kind of. So what I've been doing recently is I switch the 808 notes between the lower octaves and higher octaves, make them bounce like immediately. So like here. And then the next thing I do is I repeat the same note to play again on a higher note, or on a higher like note or a lower note, but I have the velocity lower.
Okay.
So it's like didu. So it's like, it's hitting, but it's like going down a step. So before the next 808 hits, it goes down and then slaps harder for the next 808.
Smart.
If that makes sense. So like I could have it just like this. Just simple straight 808, and towards the end, it goes like this. Just playing with the velocity.
Yeah, the velocity makes
Super simple, like not even that crazy. So I laid on like just, this is I'd say like my basic version of the 808. I'll come back and edit this later. And then I start adding other stuff. Next thing I always go for is a clap or a rim. So I'm gonna go for a clap. So another trick you can do to add some bounce with your clap is any part of this, like when the clap hits in the center bar, you can have it repeat over here like this. So this creates like, I don't know, it just sounds like this. I'll show you. So like if you have the 808 hit between the claps, it gives it a little bit of bounce. I usually do that over here or here, just to give some variation,
Yeah.
Can't have the clap just hitting the same place throughout.
Yeah.
Yeah. Next thing I go for is the hat. I usually start off with the 2-step hi-hat and then I delete the whole thing. I don't know why. It's just like a thing. And for my hats, I usually do spaced out hats. I used to do like super fast, super complicated hats with a bunch of rolls. And now it's just like, this is like unusable. It makes the beat very hard to use. So I was like, I gotta make it simpler. So I play with the velocity more here as well.
Okay.
So the thing is, if you use velocity, you can make your simple patterns into fire patterns. The MIDI doesn't have to be intricate. You just do small adjustments with the velocity, like before each hi-hat note hits. If you give the sense of like a rise and a drop, within a pattern itself, it creates more bounce.
For sure. Which is like when live drummers are playing, like they aren't just smashing.
They're not smashing every drum with the same power, right?
Yeah.
So they're playing with velocities as well. So it's kind of like humanization.
Yes.
Except that everything is quantized.
Yeah. Which you could make it off grid too if you want, but it gives you your humanization feel for sure.
But then that also varies from beat to beat.
Yeah.
Certain beats it works, other beats it doesn't work, in my opinion. And yeah, so just super simple spaced out hat.
So that you're making the beat right now. At what point does your mind start hitting like, okay, I gotta start arranging this?
At the end.
At the end?
Always have to finish all my patterns.
And are you thinking about like an artist, where the vocals are gonna sit while you're making your hi-hats and everything, or you're just kind of just having fun with it?
Just have fun.
Sick.
The most important part of making music is have fun.
Yeah.
Like I know like most of us do it because we love it. So don't try to push the agenda that you're trying to make money off. Like, sure, it's not wrong to do that. I understand, because some people, the only way they can make money is out of music. So
yeah.
But I'm saying like, for the time that you're spending on it, try to make the most of it and enjoy it as much as you can.
Mm-hmm.
So here's what I do. So I have like this bass, super simple spaced out hi-hat pattern down. Now I start adding rolls and like other notes. So one trick I've been doing a lot recently is all hi-hats have a note where they match with the melody as well.
Okay.
Just like an 808.
Yep.
All perks do as well. Like it's hard to find it, but everything can be tuned to play the same note as the melody and it'll sound perfect.
Yeah.
It won't sound off.
Yeah.
So I keep looking underneath the C5 note to find what note that would be that goes well with the melody. That's the one.
Yeah.
So then I start putting. So I just have the spaced out patterns play C5,
Okay.
the note, and everything else plays a different note and different velocities.
Sick.
So I have it like this. So these two notes I added, I bring it down all the way. So
Hard. Tough.
oh yeah, and I know a lot of people try to do like staircase hi-hat rolls where they like have the velocity go all the way up or all the way down or like anything else. A quick way to do that I realized recently is you take your mouse. This only works if you have a mouse, I think. You click both the notes on the mouse and then you drag it along the velocity grid. So if I do this now, it automatically like brings it in a staircase. I could do the other way around to make it like a high staircase or a low staircase. So that's a cool trick. I do it sometimes. It sounds fire if you have like super frequent hats, like
Hard.
that's it. It's just super simple hi-hat pattern.
Sick.
And then towards the end of the bar, after I repeat the first bar over the next bar, I just have like the last part of it have a variation, so the hi-hat isn't like repeating. So that could be like either removing rolls or adding rolls.
Tough. Okay, so all right, so you got a good little pattern down and stuff. Like you could say this is probably like a decent. This is pretty good. This fire beat right now. So if you had to finish it out and arrange it as fast as possible, could you do that? Let's say we'll give you
Hell yeah.
like 5 minutes. Let's see as fast as you can go, or if fast
Set a
enough.
timer.
You want a timer? All right, let's get a timer. It's 5:52.
Set a timer. I don't want to see the time. Set a timer.
All right. We
Right, so we have hats down, 808s down, and clap down.
You want a Timbit mid beat?
Next thing, not right now. I gotta focus.
Then no time. I'm gonna
Go for it. So the next thing I like doing with a lot of my beats is I stack the, I layer a snare with the clap. Gives it a little bit extra bounce. Same thing with the snares. Play with the velocity, you'll create a cool bounce. That's what I do. Maybe a little snare roll here and there. For the last part, I'm gonna have like a snare roll staircase thing, where it's like 4 different snare rolls that repeat, but each of them come from a high note to a lower note. So that, and then that, and that, So open hat. If you're using an open hat, the one tip I'd give is if you want your beats to hit harder, you have the open hat hit at the same place where the 808 hits. So it creates like a distorted clipping effect, like it sounds like this. Super simple, you know. And then rim, not rim, say a perk. That's the sound effect.
And you're still going through your stuff, your pack right now?
I would use my pack.
I'm gonna use your pack.
And I use this other pack that one of my very good friends is a sound designer, and one of my first music friends, his name is MF80. He's the sound designer from Denmark.
MF80? I swear.
Crazy drums.
He posts on Reddit, right?
I think so, I'm not sure. But yeah, so after everything is done, the last thing I do is add the kick.
You got 2 minutes left.
Say that's what kick full velocity. Don't have kick hit every note with the 808. Last thing I do is I check if the 808 is off key, just to be sure. You know, you never know.
Yeah. And what are you doing there? You're throwing it.
Take it one note higher. So take it octaves higher. So like I noticed, like the 808 is off key here. C.
Yeah.
So I think this is one note up. There we go. Fixed.
Minute 20 left.
Alright. Next thing I do, make it look cool. Add a gradient to the thing. So when I mix my beats, I mute everything. Just play the drums first. Make the 808 hit where I want. Clap, snare, hi-hat. Take off this hi-hat. Add a little bit of reverb.
55 seconds left.
And then just the kick at the end. Bring it all down and then adjust with the melody and see if it sounds correct. Perfect. And then now we arrange. So to arrange,
Don't even 30 seconds.
okay, you split your channel. You have everything coming like this. You always create drops in your drums. So I have no kick in the starting, no snare in the starting, and open hat just hit one time. So that and that. So it sounds like this. Another thing I do is I add like a few partial beat pauses kind of thing in between.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5 minutes is up.
There we go. That's pretty much the beat.
It's crazy. How long? I think since you downloaded.
All of that. Sorry, on this side, yo, that is speechless, bro.
I swear that was total, like, since you downloaded, like, under 10 minutes, I think, since you downloaded the sample.
Yeah,
It's crazy. This is proper.
that's it. Yo, we gotta do one thing though. Gotta add my riser and my tag.
Yeah, go for it.
That's crazy.
And are you adding your tag nowadays and everything?
Huh?
Are you adding your tag and everything?
Nah.
No?
On this, like nowadays, I've been doing a lot of no tag beats because I've been setting out to some artists who don't rap on beats that have tags.
Okay.
So I just took it so it sounds like this.
Hard.
Super simple.
Super simple.
Sounds like the opposite thing for rising.
Yeah,
You know, it's just in there.
for sure.
And besides that, I always have my riser in all my beats. So even if I don't have a tag, I know that
That's yours.
my beat.
Fire.
That's it. There we go. That's a beat. Under 10 minutes.
All right.
Zypitano and Piso. This is
This is a fire beat.
super simple, you know.
Alright. Zippy did the beat. We got the beat from waves.com. One more time, what was the sample called, if you want to shout
This
it out?
is Orlando 152 BPM by Piso.
Orlando 152 B Piso. Tag Zippy, tag Where's the Cook Up. Throw it in the, I'm sure there's multiple channels. You can throw it in Where's the Cook Up, get some feedback on it. Throw the same beat in. Zippy's challenging everybody, whoever can make a better beat than him. He'll,
Let me know. Let's see.
let's see what you guys can make.
It's not that hard to make a better beat than this.
No, this is hard.
Ah, Not at all.
All right, so I think that's about it for this episode. Before we go, we just want to give a special thanks one more time to waves.com. Huge sample library, some fire samples. You can download a sample and cook it up, something fire in like under 10 minutes. If you're in a session, if you're ever in a room and you need a certain type of idea, you can search it up by genre, BPM. If an artist tells you they want to do some hip-hop country stuff all of a sudden, waves.com got you. Simple. Shout out waves.com. Also, let's get a big round of applause, everybody in the room, for Zypitano, 4-time platinum. He has a lot bigger and better placements and stuff going on for him. I shout out everybody to give him a follow. You want to tag your socials or promote your socials?
At Zypitano everywhere. It's hard to spell, so I'll spell it out. Zypitano. Everywhere.
Everywhere, Zypitano. Shout out Hallwood Media. Shout out the gang over there. Once again, shout out Where's the Cook Up. They're doing their thing. If you guys aren't in the Discord, aren't in the community, get in there. There's fire producers, Zippy's in there, a bunch of homies are in there. There's always stuff going on. And yeah, anything else you'd like to say before we head off? A little one quote?
Yeah, shout out waves.com and keep working, enjoy. Just make music and have fun. Like, it's not that serious.
Heck yeah.
Whatever comes will come when the time is right.
That's it.
Until then, just keep working and don't stop.
You heard it first. All right, we're out. Episode 2. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Shout out the sponsors. Where's the Cook Up? You guys know where to find everybody. Thanks for tuning in.